Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the next episode of Authors Bantering. Josh Bresslin, it's Ian M. Rogers, and we're so happy to see you guys. This week's subject is going to be on how to focus your energy, or I guess the subject of focusing your energy. And it's kind of funny. I know for myself, I am right now in the biggest tailspin I've been in as far as the writing field goes in forever. I got the new book out right now. I'm working on getting the next one finished here at some point, probably in the next 6 months. Then I got The Kid on the Way coming in June, which is going to be awesome. And on top of that, too, I've shamefully been doing a little bit of first drafting on another project. So tons of stuff. I'm right now in the biggest, most chaotic period of time where everything's unfocused. And so I'm going to be offering advice, but probably taking as much of it as needed as well. Obviously, that's kind of what I'm going through here. So I guess to start off, Ian, are you kind of in the same boat on this, or?
I am in the same boat, and it's actually reassuring to hear that you are in the same boat as well. And I actually didn't realize you were starting a new project. So congratulations on that.
That's the most off the record, like just inching my foot, like just dip my first toe into the pool here. Yeah.
Well, it's on the record now, so it's good for people to know. But yeah, I'm in a similar boat to you. I have a novel that's been contracted that needs to be finished. It needs like a final polish that I'm working on. I have a new project that's partially outlined, and I want to finish the outline and eventually start it.
Yep.
I have a couple of shorter pieces that I'm working on. They're in various stages of completion. I have a lot of my day job editing work that I work on. And I even have a couple of non-writing side projects that I work on that are taking up kind of a lot of time. So I like being busy. Being busy is really, really important to me. And a lot of these, things I've taken on have opened up a lot of doors in really, really good ways. And they're projects that mean a lot to me. And, they're not things that don't bring me fulfillment. If they didn't bring me fulfillment, I wouldn't do them. But it can be a lot to have a lot going on, and to have, you have 6 different appointments in one day sometimes, or just, a myriad of deadlines that coincidentally all happen to be on the same day, for example.
And so I guess for you, how do you find that you're able to kind of like focus your energy, like actually dial in on this? Like for myself, I know it's simply like, all right, there's only 24 hours in the day. I can't add any more time in. I can't really even manage time. So for me, it's always about elimination. It's always about just prioritization, just eliminating the things that aren't working. Even when it comes to writing projects, putting certain ones aside. And unfortunately, the more you take on, it's always more chaotic. But that's often how I do it. I don't know about you.
No, mine's similar. I think sort of my step one is to eliminate, kind of things I don't want to be doing, or distractions or time wasters. Social media was a big thing. Reducing that a few years ago was really important for me. In my work, I tend to be very deadline driven. So, if something's due on Tuesday, I'll do that first, and then the thing that's due on Wednesday, and then the thing that's due on Friday, for example. The problem with doing that is that it often, things that don't have a deadline, like a novel or a conceptual project or something, you're working on in your writing, often don't have deadlines, so those can get slipped by the wayside. To remedy that, what I'll do is I'll try and make time, again, in the morning, appointment time, okay, Thursday 9 to 12 writing time, no ifs, ands, or buts type of thing, works well for me. And again, this helps me kind of balance both the deadline driven things, writing, I'll make time for other projects that are more long term, and kind of juggle those. That being said, it's still very difficult. It's like the more things you have to keep track of, the more likely you are to forget one, or not make pace on one the way you want to, or even just become stressed because of the having to balance so many. Whereas if there were only 2, it would be an easier job, and you wouldn't have that extra stress.
That's exactly it. Like, and that's I'm impressed you can actually schedule like things out and compartmentalize as you do. I'm the opposite of that. I'm so bad. I have to like do like one, like, okay, if I'm doing this one project, I need to set a limit of like a week or 2 where I'm only doing that project, nothing else, and then I'll burn through that, then do something else, then take a break from that and to weave something else in. I can't compartmentalize like, oh, Monday I'm going to do this, and Tuesday I'm going to do this, and Wednesday I'm going to, like, I have to either be completely focused on one thing and absorbed, or not doing it at all. And it's the biggest, like it causes the biggest tail fire, because what happens is I take on like a bunch of different projects where I'm doing like, like a few weeks on this, putting it aside for a few weeks in the next one. You feel like you never really make any kind of progress at all,
That's I 100% agree. I've been there myself. I used to have that problem. I think when I was young. I think I learned to compartmentalize little by little. That being said, like I kind of envy you in your position, like being able to take large chunks of time to work on a bigger project like that and focus on that for a week is something I'd like to be doing more of. It's like putting other things on the back burner. And again, I do that a little bit, but to just say, okay, Monday through Friday, I'm going to work on this and nothing else.
Yep.
I'm not sure I've ever done that, and so it's kind of.
Yeah, for me, it's more necessity of just the quality, because like for me, whenever I get back to a project, I'm working on a project, the day I start working on it again, it's kind of like the first day writing, where like the first day kind of sucks, and like so I start like on a Monday, it'll be by Thursday that all of a sudden like my writing's good, my quality is back up to normal. So for me, it's one of the things where I can't just jump. Like if I took a day off, whatever, my quality would never be better the next day. So for me, I have to basically keep it in a system where, all right, here's a week, here's two. I gotta edit. Like not too long ago, I spent a whole month editing 150 pages on my going over novel, and that was like about a month where it was like every day we're gonna focus just on this. That's the only thing, and I managed to do it because I was so absorbed. If it was something where only on Wednesdays I'm gonna devote 8 hours to doing it, I'd come in to the start of my day basically already feeling like I'm going to be off. And then probably by halfway through it, I'm still going to be like, oh, I'm not there yet, because I don't know why. It just takes days and days and days of working on a project when you start anew or get back to it for it to finally feel like you're back at a good quality baseline, then keep it going,
Yes. I think that warm up period is very, very important. And actually just, listening to your example, like I think it can be partially alleviated by maybe, absorbing some of that warm up time, taking it over the course of several days and using, some of the other time to work on other projects. So for example, like if Monday is going to be a crappy warm up writing day, no problem. Don't write for 8 hours and have it be crappy time, write for 2 hours and then use the other 6 hours for something else, for example. If you can do that. One thing I've been thinking a lot about is that, okay, why do we get into these positions? Why do we have a lot going on? I think about, when I was younger, kind of just out of college, and I didn't have a lot going on, and I was craving opportunities, and I would go and seek out opportunities. It was harder to find opportunities just because of where I was and my limited experience level. But then over the years, as I, became exposed to more and got a little bit better at this, I started finding more opportunities and more things to do. So I started saying yes a lot to opportunities that would come up or that I would find or that I thought I could do. And this worked really, really well for a long time because it really helped me expand and it helped me get from, down here to a little bit more because,
Exactly.
I was getting contacts and I was getting skills and building resume and, opportunities were leading to other opportunities. And, it felt like I was, cruising for a long time. But then in maybe more recent years, it's felt like, okay, maybe now, I've gotten a lot of the opportunities that I really, really needed 10 years ago. I've got those now, but now there's a lot of them. And then maybe new ones are coming up and some of them are good that I want to be doing.
Yep.
Maybe I don't have time for because there's other things. And maybe other opportunities, they're not so good. So I can, brush those aside because I already have enough going on. But what about the other opportunities that, are good, but not as good as I would like
Yes.
them to be, and that's been something I've been thinking a lot about more. It's like I've been spending, time on things that are, a level 7 of importance out of 10, but I'd really be like to be making more room for those 8s, 9s, and 10s, and not just the 7s.
And it's what happens as time goes on, because when you first start out, basically you have nothing. So 7s basically are like you can stack your whole like time up to 7s, and that's fine. But when you start getting to a point where you have more opportunities now, where you get more things coming your way, that's when you have to start prioritizing, and you feel bad because your entire mentality is, you have that scarcity mentality of like, oh, I should take this opportunity, I shouldn't pass it up, this could be the next big thing. So you keep taking it. All of a sudden, you stretch yourself too thin. Then you start to have to reassess and go, Oh no. Okay, so this is like a 7. This is like an 8. So I'll cut the 7 out and put the 8 in. I was there with like my God, the critique groups basically alone like that I was in for a long time. Had to cut that back just because I was getting so much more work and I had this sort of the teaching and all that stuff that was coming in. Um, Been there. No, and that's such a true thing of just needing to prioritize that way. Sucks. I know, and you always feel like
it does, because it's not stuff that you don't want to do.
it's just
It's
not
not
as
stuff that's like a 2
yes.
or a 4 or something. It's just a 7, and it's a good 7,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not the 10, and maybe the 10 isn't getting done because
Exactly.
you're spending too much time on the 7.
Exactly. And you're always thinking though too, like, oh, I can fit it in, right? Like in your mind, you're always like, I can fit it in. And even when you have downtime, like for me at least, I'm always like, I can fit it in. Why not? Yeah, this isn't a big deal. But then you get into it, right? Like you start getting the project, and all of a sudden it becomes crazy. And I think that's a big thing is just learning to prioritize. Like once you start taking on these different projects, prioritizing where they're at, and really just keeping anything that you sometimes I think it's even better, to be honest, like nowadays, like, and it's just could be me getting older, but nowadays I'm even saying like my mentality is like if anything like for me is like below an 8, I may not even do it. Like I might even say, even if I had free time, I might just say no, I'm only doing the 8 and just gonna have the free time basically to do my own, like to do leisure, like not even helpful stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, at least it's where I'm at right now. I don't know about you, but that's my thing. It's like 8's my standard just to even consider something nowadays. But
yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned leisure, actually, because leisure is very important. And for a long time, I wasn't taking any leisure time at all. Which eventually it led to some pretty bad burnout.
Yeah.
Now I don't take a lot of leisure time, and not as much as I would like, but I do take more, and I do take necessary leisure time.
Bingo.
That's very, very important. And the idea that that's important too. And when you take on a lot of things, often it is the leisure or the downtime or the resting time that gets shoved by the wayside, because you're right. We do think that we can do it all.
Exactly.
Maybe we can't.
And so, yeah, I mean, and so I guess with that too, this is kind of a good segue now. Anyways,
it's a very good segue. Actually,
I know it's almost like we planned this one, right? All right, so kind of we're talking about obviously just managing our time and kind of prioritizing. For those that are liking the channel, Author Bantering, we love it. But we are going to be taking a mid-season break. So we love doing this. This is our second season. We're enjoying it. But kind of like we said before, we have some really high priority stuff that's going on right now. And so we're going to be taking here at least probably the next few months off. And at some point coming up later this year, we'll jump back in and kind of finish up the season 2 as we kind of intended. But unfortunately, as writers, we have things that come up. We have priorities. Things change a lot. And you don't really know like what you're taking on until you do. So much as we have enjoyed this, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break.
Yes, and again, it's not because we don't love authors bantering.
I know.
And it was what makes it hard to, admit that it is going to be better to take a break, because, I would rather see it set authors bantering on the wayside for a little while than set some of my other, my writing projects on the back burner for a while.
You should too.
So it's a prioritization thing.
Absolutely. And again, this is meant to enhance too. That's I guess just a final thing, which is this is meant to enhance. Like even YouTube and doing this podcast right here, this is meant to enhance, right? Like this is supposed to kind of supplement our writing, right? It's supposed to be kind of a fun thing to offer some advice back and kind of collaborate. It's supposed to kind of enhance the creativity in a way. If you're detracting from projects, if you're detracting from the things that you're going after, you're basically putting the cart before the horse, right? It should be something in addition to. It should never feel like you're detracting from. So for us, we've enjoyed it. We'll be back here in a few months, and yeah, man, it's gonna be kind of wild. I mean, I think some of the topics
and your YouTube channel will still be here. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's one thing. One final thing. Yeah, so my channel will still be up. So I'm still making my weekly videos on my own. Yep. So it's up. It's just this particular series, Authors Bantering, that will be on a temporary hiatus. So yeah, man. So
we'll
I guess we'll sign off here. I'm Josh Bresslin. That's Ian M. Rogers, and until next time, everybody. Hope you all doing well. We'll see you next time.
Don't worry, we'll be back.
Yes, exactly. I was trying to figure the best sign off for that. But all right, guys, I'll see you next time.